Cheers, love! The Cavalry's here! But instead of twin rapid-fire pistols, it's armed with a giant composite weapon, and instead of space-time manipulation, it's armed with the Hades system. What is going on, guys? MJ2005 Gundam here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the P-Bandai high-grade Pale Rider Cavalry from Mobster Gundam Side Story Missing Link. Now, at first, I wasn't really too big of a fan of the design of the Pale Rider Cavalry. I'm fine with the silhouette is a Pale Rider, but the color scheme is just a little bit too patchy for me because there is too much of white and navy blue all over the body in the same spot. But as I started to build this kit, I slowly started to grow fond of the color scheme. The white and navy blue don't clash too strongly against each other. On top of that, we do have the red and the yellow and also the gray bits here and there just to accent on the color schemes. So the overall color scheme and the color allocation is very well done, so good job on the designers. However, to replicate that amount of detail, stickers are heavily relied on. So for instance, you do have the one on the head, you have the eyes and the sensors on the front and back of the head. You do have the gray bits on the shoulders over here. You have 4 of those in total. You have the chest vents over here. You do have the chest pieces over here that can have easily gone for plastic pieces, but there are glowing parts for the chest pieces in the Hades mode, so that's why they opted for stickers, I guess. And you do have everything that is not white on the front skirt, everything that is not white on the back skirt. You do have the gray on the knee pads over here. You do have the blue over here, which could have easily gone for plastic pieces. And you do have the vents on the sides over here, and you do have the white trim on the inside of the thrusters on the legs. So I believe that is it, but when you take the tally of the Hades mode stickers into account, then not so much. You're still gonna have quite a bit of stickers left over if you want to build this in the alternate mode. Moving on, the nut marks and seam lines. Well, the blue plastic is gonna be a pain to handle just because they do leave pretty obvious nut marks, and some obvious seam lines that I found are the ones on the elbow pads over here, so those require heavy cleanup, and of course the one running straight down the head. And maybe if you're can't let this go, the top of the shoulders need cleaning up as well. But overall, this kit does look pretty nice on its in and of itself, and it doesn't matter which mode you like better, it's still a looker for the collectors. Articulation wise, I think it's the standard Pale Rider articulation, but I cannot be sure because I don't have the standard Pale Rider. So you do have a double ball joint at the neck over here, so it's a polycap, so funky chicken is possible, rotation all the way is definitely possible, but beware of the top antenna just because you can easily break it if you're not careful. The arms are on a swing back polycap joint, so all you can do is go backwards like that. There's no forward movement apart from the one allowed from the ball joint, so it can roll just like that. The arms can go out pretty much perpendicular to the body. The arms of course can rotate pretty much unimpeded because there's no backpack design, and you do have the rotation at the elbow, bend at the elbow at 2 joints over here, which is very nice looking. But the wrist I do have a problem with because they wiggle a little bit too easily because they're still using that stupid polycap for the wrist joints. The waist over here can obviously rotate all the way around pretty much, and you do have a little bit of crunching, but there aren't any crunches in the torso, so don't try to force that. Front skirts can be separated without any ill effects. Side skirts can move up. They're not on the universal standard, so it's a polycap in there. The back skirts are as usual a block. There is gonna be the funky dance mechanic in the legs. The legs can also go forwards like that, backwards not that much, outwards pretty much all the way. Rotation at the hip, double jointed knee, which can bend a slight bit over 90, and the ankle armor over here can move some, but it's a little tight to get it to move. The feet can go forwards and back, so pretty good articulation there. Side to side up top, side to side at the ball joint in the bottom. They can rotate at the top and slightly more rotation at the feet over there. And of course in the backpack, the fuel tank is on a circular peg so it can move, but it's plastic on plastic, so beware of the peg wearing out. So all in all, articulation on the Pale Rider Cavalry is absolutely amazing. Sure, the leg bend could use a little more, but overall, it's up to modern standards. Accessory wise, first of all, let's talk about the beam sabers up top. There's still the standard beam sabers, and you can bring in the pair of SP13 beams that this kit comes with and stick it into the hand. So yeah, pretty standard beam saber fighting pose. Moving on, of course, we do have the hyper beam rifle from the Gundam Unit 4, Unit 5, Pale Rider, whatever it is. Unfortunately, there's no sticker for the scope, so you're gonna have like a gray scope staring at you unless you paint it in. So this kit doesn't come with any trigger finger hand, so you can just stick it into the normal holding hand, and there you go. Scope and support handles can move. Moving on, we have the plank that the G04, G05 Pale Rider came with, the shield. Now, this time, they are using heart stickers for the navy blue detail, which I do not understand why, but okay, and the heart stickers do look a lot more glossier when compared to normal stickers, so I guess that's what they're going for, a more presentable shield. On top of that, you do have the Slave Wraith logo and the Unit 2 logo for the shield, so those are optional, so you can leave those out if you want, but the heart stickers over here do actually look pretty nice, I must admit. But still, if you're molding this on the new plates, why the hell not just redesign the thing? Like, you can redesign the entire mold for the plates. But anyways, they can go into either arm, just like that, and you can shift the shield onto the bottom if you so desire. Of course, it can rotate on the polycap. Next up, we do have the Beam Javelin, which I haven't seen in ages, if ever. So yeah, this is just a regular old Beam Javelin, and it has a beam saber handle and a stick that pokes into a giant effect part over here. So all you need to do is to swap it in, and this is where the problems occur, because at some specific poses, the Beam Javelin can actually weigh down the hand, just like that. So yeah, due to the stupid polycaps used for the arm socket, the hand sockets, the Beam Javelin may not be the first weapon of choice if you want to go for posing, unless you're gonna let the Pale Rider hold it in two hands. Finally, the signature composite weapon Shakina over here. You do have the energy pack, I think. It's fully color separated anyway, so that's pretty nice engineering. And of course, the actual weapon, fully color separated, apart for the scope. You also need to paint the circle over here into metallic blue if you want both scopes to be painted in. Of course, there aren't really too many moving parts apart from the support handle over here that you can pull out. And that's basically it. So to put it onto the Pale Rider, first of all, just put the battery pack onto the right side skirt and open up this panel over here and angle it so as to have this peg plug into the hole underneath the arm over here, and of course have the hand hold onto the handle, which is gonna be a bit of a struggle with the wire because it does severely hinder the playability of the weapon. And then close the panel back up. So that's basically how you put it in. So now it has the composite weapon. So now the composite weapon is being held. Of course, it does combine the capabilities of the G04 and G05 by having the mega launcher over here and the Gatling gun right underneath. Don't know how practical this thing will be, but whatever, it's Gundam. And of course, you do have a missile pod over here that you can take out the top piece and swap it in for an open piece. Of course, the missiles aren't color in, so you will have to do that detail yourself. But other than that, you just swap the pieces out, and here you have the missile pods opened. Now, of course, you can forego the wire if you so desire. The wire is also included in the kit, by the way. But even the promotional images forego the wire, so I don't know why it's included, but okay. And to hold onto the support handle, you will need to take the hand apart and do it sandwich style because of this stock over here. After having it angled, here you have the composite weapon Shakina held by the Pale Rider Cavalry. And finally, as a small bonus, they did also include a left open hand, which is kind of relaxed. So that's gonna wrap it up for the accessories of the Pale Rider Cavalry. Moving on to comparisons now, let's bring in the original Gundam for a comparison. And let's bring in another Gundam with heavy firepower, the Gundam Heavy Arms. And finally, let's bring in something from out of this world, the Juristis Sinistra Dictis. In terms of leftover parts, we basically have the entire A plate left over from the normal Pale Rider. We do have the C plate for the various joints and verniers. We have the H plate over here for the fuel tank holders on the G04 and G05, but this is basically for the Pale Rider space type as it says here. And finally, we do have the B plate left over with kind of like the major body components of the Pale Rider. So use these to your own liking. So that's going to wrap it up for the Pale Rider Cavalry. Now, for 190 Hong Kong dollars, which is only marked up by 30 when compared to the normal web shop price, this kit is very, very enjoyable. The good looks, the large arsenal with the complementing articulation, you can play around with this kit all day and expect to have a good time. But the one thing I don't like about this kit is that the wrists are loose due to the unreliable polycaps. The stickers are whatever to me at this point, just because the patchy color scheme cannot possibly be entirely achieved in plastic in the high grades budget, and this is the Pale Rider. The vents need to have 2 modes. The hard stickers on the shield do look pretty good as well, so I'm not going to fault them for that. So overall, I'm going to give this thing a 7.5 out of 10. If you find it at a good price, that is. Because it's not really worth 300 or more for a kit like this. So if you find it for a good price, 7.5 out of 10. It's an absolute recommend from me. Same thing goes for the D2, save for the colors and the headpiece, but mechanically they are identical. So whatever I've said for the Cavalry will go to the D2 as well. So that's gonna wrap it up for me. Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you did like it, please be sure to drop a like, comment, and also subscribe for more gunplay reviews, gunplay news, and all that kind of stuff. Turn on notifications for future content alerts if you haven't, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.